This happened back in 2019, back when I worked nights at a distribution warehouse tucked in the edge of an old dying town, one of them cities that you just ride through and it looked like it'll be the perfect little place to go have lunch or whatever, except everything boarded up. Now, it wasn't much, just a long tin roof building, flickering lights, gravel parking lot, kind of place that felt like it wasn't nothing going on in here. When I actually got here, I couldn't believe this is where I was going to be working at. I'm thinking I for sure had the wrong address, but hey, now at night, it's like the world didn't even exist when you stepped inside, and it was usually three of us, and we worked on a night shift. It was my supervisor, me, and it was this older guy, and we weren't real close. But, the guy had been working there for years. Real quiet guy, always kept to himself. Smelled like rubber and menthols. And, the other guy, he was cool though, but But anyway, one night, around late October, I think, the supervisor got a call and he left early. He said his kid had like a fever and needed to run home real quick. Now, he told me and Kurt, the other guy, I ain't mean to say his name, but okay, y'all got his name now. He told me to keep things moving and he'd be back in a couple hours. I'm like, okay, cool, ain't nothing going on anyway. We just being here chilling, regardless. But he never came back, so it's just me and the other guy. And it's this, I'm talking about this place is massive, man. Like, it don't look, ain't nothing special about it, but it's so big it kind of look weird when you see it, cause ain't nothing else around but like trees and junk. So a bunch of loading docks, quiet, ain't no machines or anything running. Trucks come drop off a load, then the next truck come and take it. So that's it. There ain't nothing else going on. Big long metal shelves on each aisle. The only noise you hear sometimes was the lights buzzing. And that was about it, man. And at first it was fine. We usually stayed on opposite sides of the floor. I was over near Dock 3 and taking care of like incoming manifests or whatever. And Kurt worked the outbound dock, outbound end. And it's like Dock 12 or something. I'm on the other side, but y'all get it. Sorting pallets, getting shipments ready. But somewhere around 1 a.m., it's like I realized something was off. I hadn't heard no noise coming down there from the other guy's side in a minute. Nah, I ain't hear no radio static, no. Sometimes you would just hear him just cussing real loud out of anger, nothing. I said, man, maybe he went and took a big long break or something, man. But it just wasn't, I wasn't used to hearing him quiet this long. And that's when I saw him. I looked down the main aisle. It's a long, narrow, like, strip between the tall shelves. And I saw somebody just standing there, way down, right? Just perfectly still. Not moving a muscle and facing towards me. Now, at this distance, I couldn't make out, what was going on, but I say, okay, that's Kurt. Maybe he was checking, looking at something. Maybe he was trying to get my attention. Sometimes somebody will wave and they'll just stand there until they can get your attention. So, but he never moved. Didn't turn his head. Nothing. Didn't check his phone. Just standing there. No paperwork in his hand. Like he waiting on me to make the next move. So I looked away to, grab a box or something. And when I looked back, he was closer. But he wasn't moving, just staring. Now, at this point, I froze up. And that whole aisle stretch, like this thing was like football fields long, And I'm like the distance he moved, he couldn't have moved that fast. Like, I'm talking about I looked down, picked up the box, looked back up, he'd have moved like, I'm talking about some yards now. So I said, hey, Kurt, you good? Nothing. So this time I said again, Kurt, none. Now at this point I'm trying to like rationalize in my head, like maybe he didn't hear me. Maybe he messing with me. And, you know, the guy was weird. But he wasn't like threatening me. You know, maybe not really creepy. But then he took a step. Just one step. And it was real loud. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I know this place got echoes. But for him to be that far away, I felt like I just heard that step too much. Maybe it's my mind playing tricks on me. But it was like this guy weighed more than he should have weighed. Or like the flow ain't want him walking on it. And something about the way he moved it didn't sit right with me. Like his shoulders was too far forward. And his head like tilted to the left. Almost like his neck couldn't hold it up. And I still couldn't see his face. Just, you know, just his silhouette, man. It was just, I ain't like it. And I backed out the aisle and grabbed my stuff. And I said, I'm about to get up out of here because, you know, I guess he trying to play some kind of prank on me. And Kurt don't really know me like that. But I will bust his head wide open if he think he finna try to do some kind of prank or jump scare thing on me. You know, I ain't the one, man. So I got my stuff and I said, I'm leaving. And I called the manager and let him know, like, hey, you know, can't do this. So I cut through the little corridor to the exit. And I passed a row of metal racks and something caught my eye. Just like some movement. Now this place always play tricks on you because when you at night and you always kind of just make up stuff. But I'm telling you, I turned and the man was right there. And way closer. Like maybe 20 feet away. And it was like a little eye wash station right there. He was quiet and he still wasn't saying nothing. And I got a better look at him this time. And, anyway, it's like the right side of his face looked like it was melting. Not literally, but like the skin was so swollen and like sliding down, and his eyes like drooped lower than it should, and his jaw was slack on that side, and like it just came up off the hinge. And the worst part was like he was smiling. Or he was trying to smile. And it didn't look like a smile for me. It looked like one of those smiles people do when they alone and remembering something. You know, like something bad, but you gotta try to put a smile on your face. And I'm talking about I ran past the forklift station, through the break room, slammed into the emergency so hard, the door or whatever, an alarm went off and I sprinted to the car. I left my stuff. All you could hear was that gravel crunching. And I got to the car, fumbling with the keys in the dark, got the door open, and that's when I heard the footsteps. Like heavy, like it's just tearing through that gravel. And fast. But they was uneven, you know, it wasn't just like boop, 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 like a normal step. It was boop, boom, boom, boop, boop, boom, boom. Like some kind of crazy limp or something, man, but with force behind it. And I yanked the door shut, and just as I turned the key in the ignition, something hit the passenger side of that car so hard, it was him. And he had his face pressed up on the glass. His eyes was wide. His mouth was stretched in that same crazy expression. And his breath fogged up on the window. And it's like, he kind of moved his face against the window. And it was like a greasy smudge on the window after that. And his skin was even worse up close, blotchy. And like something was bulging up under his face or something. like his cheek was full of water or pus or something. And he started pulling on the handle, and I slammed the car in reverse. I almost backed into something, and I peeled out. I was about to say like my life depended on it, but yeah, my life did depend on it. And I ain't stopped driving until I got to a lit up gas station about 10 miles down the road. And I sat there shaking for a minute, watching the door, waiting to see if he followed me, waiting to see if anything just was out of place. But the man didn't follow me. You know, when I called the manager the next day, he was confused. I said, man, I was at work with Kirk, man. You remember you left and you left me and Kirk there? He said, Kirk wasn't scheduled last night. He been out for 2 weeks getting a surgery or something. I checked the shift logs, man. Kirk ain't clocked in. And I asked around, because, you know, it's a small town, man. Everybody kind of knew everybody because everybody would go to the same little place and kick it or whatever. And I asked around, nobody knew nothing. A few people said Kirk had been having, like, issues, talking to himself more, showing up on days he wasn't scheduled. One guy even said Kirk had been let go months earlier but still showed up sometime, like he didn't know he'd been fired. And I'm like, how am I getting all these different stories? My manager giving me different stories. And I'm like, I know I've been going to work every day with this man. Now, yeah, we don't really see each other because he be down on the other side. He be doing his thing, I be doing my thing. But, you know, somebody been doing the work. So it had to be him because who else would know how to do the work? And, man, then the manager said Kirk passed away a week later. Complications like from a stroke. He said one side of his face had swelled up real bad towards the end. And after that, I never worked another night shift after that. So all I gotta say is let's not meet whoever you are or whatever you became.